Hello, and welcome to the video review for Heroes of the Storm, Blizzard's new MOBA. I'm Jared Russo, I'm the gaming editor for Geekbench, and I've been playing this game for literally months. I got into the closed beta thanks to a Polygon contest, and I've been playing this game almost every day nonstop, much like Hearthstone, one of my other favorite all-time games, which is insane because I had never played Blizzard games before then, and then out of nowhere, got hooked on two of them. Heroes of the Storm is an interesting game because reviewing it, I've been playing a closed beta and then it went open beta and now it's out. The UI changed, the menus changed, a lot of things have been changing, and so I finally spent a good solid week playing the final version, which was more or less the same as the open beta version. Servers are fine, no problems, tons of people playing, so none of that, no like Battlefield problems out of the gate. I wouldn't expect that for Blizzard. There's enough people playing their games. And it's just weird reviewing it because the game is free, and you can just go play it and find out if you like it by yourself, and you don't need this review. So I'm trying to figure out who this review is for, other than me, because I just like reviewing things. But Heroes of the Storm is such a weird entity to review because I've been playing it for months, which means that I like it, obviously. If I didn't like it, I would not be playing it for weeks, let alone months. But I understand all of the flaws. Like, I see all the flaws. The game can be so much better. I understand why it's not as good as other MOBAs. There's clearly things that are lacking about it. There are clearly things that they can improve. Matchmaking is atrocious. You need to grind up to a high level to play ranked, and even ranked is not perfect either, especially since there are no bans currently. But matchmaking is pretty fucked. You queue up into a quick match, and you are just at the mercy of random teams that don't have good synergy, and the community is not toxic. They barely talk to each other because you can just turn off chat immediately. You don't have to respond to your teammates, which is bad because you want to have teamwork. But I don't know. I would sort of rather just play with your friends and not have people yell at you than go into League and be called an idiot by everyone who plays that game. So I mean, there's differences there. There are not as many characters, which is good. I mean, you can focus in on matchups, and there's not as many people to play, but that makes things more or less balanced. Still not 100% of the balancing. I would like to see that, fine-tuned a little bit, because there are certainly characters who are very bad and ones who are very good. But nothing to the point that everything is OP. There's a lot of maps in the game. I think there's 7. I like most of them, but there are 1 or 2 that I don't like playing on, and they really don't. They don't mesh well with MOBAs because you want to have the different numbers of lanes and objectives sort of spice things up and change when you team fight and where, and it's split pushing versus grouping and things like that. But there are very cheap ways to win, which is just on Blackheart's Bay is the pirate map especially, which you're not watching right now. And if you don't know what this game is, then it's very hard to understand. But there's one map, it's a pirate map. You can literally just camp and just stay your whole team at the bottom and just hoard over this like turn-in, and you can just dominate and win. And it's like if you're going into matches that people don't know this, you can get steamrolled because there are very particular ways to play some of the maps. There's no voice chat. I mean, there's no voice chat in other MOBAs, but maybe this was going to be the MOBA to change things. It's not. I mean, there are tons of other things that I could nitpick, but the game is just too goddamn fun. And it is the MOBA that I go to because not everyone is good at MOBAs. And not everyone has an encyclopedia's worth of information in their head about 100 and gazillion characters and runes and quintessences and item builds and all this crap. That's really complicated, and if you're into that, that's great. That makes those games deeper if you're willing to put up with it. But with Heroes of the Storm, the appeal is just it's easy to play, it's easy to jump into, there are no items, there is no gold, you don't have to process all of this information and experience and knowledge, and it's just for beginners and casuals, as dirty as that sounds, and for people who just want to play MOBAs and have a good time, but don't want to have to go through all the rigmarole. And this is really the game, and I hope it doesn't turn into a game where it just ends up being about like people who are extremely good, playing with people who are extremely good, and you have to know everything, and it just turns into one of those things. I like the map variety. I like the different numbers of lanes and objectives. I like that the characters are all fun to play. They're all really fun to play. And you can do really great, awesome things, and you don't have to be amazing at a MOBA. And I like that it's team-based, there's team experience, and the matches, oh my god, the matches are so quick. It's so good to get a whole MOBA game's worth of experience in a bite-sized 10, 15, 20, 25-minute match tops. Like, I don't think I've ever really crossed the 30-minute mark, and that's amazing to be able to play 3 to 4 games within an hour instead of having to spend 1 hour on one game that ends up being a loss because someone quit. I love that when someone quits, a bot takes over, and the bots are more or less competent. I mean, you're not really going to win with a bot, but like it doesn't hurt if you're at the tail end and someone's disconnecting. I've not had a lot of problems with connecting or reconnecting, things like that. I really not come into any technical problems or glitches, even in closed beta. I really like the mounts. I really like the fact that you can like get skins and mounts just for playing a character. You don't have to like pony up. That's a pun because there's a pony in the game. But the game is very expensive if you are going to go pure money. The characters and the mounts and the skins like that, they are just so stupidly overpriced. Like, it is so ridiculous, some of the rip-offs. But there are weekly sales, and you can buy, I think, almost everything in the game with just pure gold. And initially, I thought that the game had a problem with how much gold, in-game gold you got. Because early on, it's really hard to, like, I mean, if you do the daily quest, you will get gold. And if you save it up and you're wise with it, and you're leveling things up and such like that. But once you're playing with friends, you get like a team bonus, and especially during this launch month, you get like a friend XP boost, and you get free stim packs, and they're giving away XP bonuses. So like, it shouldn't be that hard to not quote unquote grind up, but to buy the character that you want to play. You like somebody, you will get enough money, enough gold to just buy the person you want, and once you're there, you're set. I also like that the lanes, any of the lanes on any of the maps, you don't have to send a particular class there. Like, you can just go to whatever lane you want, and you can just figure it out from there, because the laning phase isn't very long. I like that there are not 5 set roles, and you have to do the same thing. And some people like League of Legends and Dota because the map is the same and it never changes. But I like that there are different maps, and you can play in different ways, and you can within the game you're not picking which abilities to level up like in League of Legends. And you're not buying item builds, you're just picking little like perk trees, like Borderlands or even Call of Duty, and you can sort of like counter other characters and the map and things like that with how you pick those traits. So I like that. Of course, not all of the trait trees, the perk trees, are equal. There are some characters who have one build, and that's the only build, and I would really like Blizzard to make sure that every character, because there's only 30-something of them, to have different, interesting, unique ways to build instead of having, like, you know, Thrall. I play Thrall. He's my main character. You're watching him right now. By the way, this is MF Palitime, who was, like, my favorite Heroes of the Storm streamer and YouTube content creator. He's playing Thrall right now. He's my favorite character. He's my main. But, like, there's only one way to build him. And I would like more ways to build him. And I also like that, just like Street Fighter 4, in this game, everyone has 2 ults, 2 ultimate moves. And some characters you can pick one or the other because they're both good, and some characters there's only one really that you go to. But again, this is a game that can only get better as time goes on. There will be more characters and more maps, and they will fine-tune the balance, and they'll add more things, they'll add more mounts, they'll add more events. And it's going to be a game that, like, as time goes on, it'll just get bigger and better. Like, World of Warcraft got bigger and better, and Hearthstone is getting bigger and better, and I can only imagine Blizzard's going to take the time to really make sure that these games are getting more content, and they're getting smarter, and the communities will grow, and they're getting smarter, and I just don't see this game declining. I see this game only growing and getting better, because it's a fucking lot of fun. It's so much goddamn fun to get your friends and jump into this, even if you're not experienced with MOBAs, if you're interested in MOBAs, if you're not good at MOBAs, or if you like MOBAs. I feel like most people who try this game, if you're already willing to jump in and go for it, I feel like you're going to get hooked. There'll be something about this game that hooks you, whether it's just being able to play a character and feel like you're really good, or playing a map that you like, or something along those lines. It's because it's a very different, unique take on MOBAs, and I really, really like that. And I feel like if Blizzard is willing to pay an absorbent amount of money to ESPN to show their game on ESPN2 in primetime during other real sports playoffs, to take this either seriously as a competitive game or just to show it off to as many people, because they're blitzing commercials, TV ads like a motherfucker. They're really going for it. They're committed. They're behind this game. And that's great to hear, because, I mean, when you're buying a game or when you're playing a free-to-play game, you want to know that there's more coming. And not just in, like, pre-order DLC nonsense. Like, oh, you'll get some extra like Batman skin characters if you buy Arkham Knight early. Like, you want to know that you're playing this game and there's going to be some long-term stuff behind it. So I really like Heroes of the Storm. There are a ton of problems, but none of the problems are like actively there. They're sort of just like passively, like you think about them, like, oh, I guess this game could be better if they fix this and this. But when you're in the game and you're playing, you don't really think about that. But there are some weird caveats, but overall, the positives outweigh the negatives, and I really, really love this game. It's my favorite MOBA ever. I love this game. I'm playing it tons, and I'm very conservative about the score because it's so great, but there's enough problems to sort of keep it back. But as they keep adding and fine-tuning and refining, I'm sure it'll it's like wine, it'll age with time. So thank you for watching this video, and come back to geekbinge.com for more video reviews and content. So thank you.